Claim your free AirPods today by clicking the first link in the description down below.
r/AskReddit. What is the weirdest fetish and so had that you just went with because they were hot? I'm a dude who knows a dude, roommate at the time, who got pedicures because his girl wanted his toes inside of her. First and only time I'd ever heard of a female having a foot fetish. Pretty odd if you ask me, but she seemed to be a cool chick. I'd have done it too. Edit. I know this is a valid account because we were all friends and there were plenty of drunken jokes about it and a few serious conversations. She was always confident about her fetish and referenced it at times, but he had some issues with it and would confide in me in accordance with Bro Code Article 8 Section 42A. I'd love having an excuse to get pedicures. Pedicures are so ducking good. I've never had nails done on hands or feet. Maybe I'll try it someday. Probably not though. My ex used to have me come in her before she would go out in public because she said she me marking my territory. IDK was weird, but I wasn't complaining. Her other BF liked sticking it in another man's seed. And that is a boner I certainly did not expect. My friend told me her so would buy a bunch of live beetles and grubs and have her squish them with her bare feet while he pleasured himself. Edit. I actually am surprised more people aren't familiar with this. When my friend told me about it, she said that it's a really common fetish. Though she may have just been trying to rationalize the crazy hit that she did. I never had any interest to do any research as seeing bugs/animals squished isn't something I'd go out of my way to see. I believe this is my second highest rated comment. And it's about my poor friend squishing bugs with her feet. Edit 2. Holy cow. By far my highest rated comment. It's been over a decade since she confided in me with this. She is now in a healthy relationship and has a young child. I'm happy that she got her hit together and left this creep. I hadn't thought about this story in years. But the title of this post reminded me of it cause it's the weirdest thing I've heard of someone doing for love. I don't ever plan to bring up this memory with her again. It's tucked up. But at least it didn't progress to puppies or kittens, as far as I know. I think this wins. After reading the answers on this thread, I believe that my so is very vanilla. And that is actually pretty good. Some of these. Just, ugh. Stares angrily at the screen while jacking off and crushing beetles with feet. Not a so. But during X. A Tinder hookup once asked me to spit in her mouth. I thought what the hell. But didn't really get it right and out of it missed her mouth and got on her face. She shouted EWW not my face. And was completely disgusted. I don't really understand where her line was. Sounds like the line was her lips. My ex ruined vanilla girls for me. She liked to get slapped and would slap back. She liked to be choked until passed out and instructed that I keep going. The feeling of a knife blade on her skin really got her off. And she told me once that back in Israel, while she dated a soldier, they wrapped the end of his rifle in saran wrap and he ducked her with it. That last one intimidated me for a while. Your ex out America does all. Having a gun in her vag? Sounds like she had America in her as well. Not that uncommon. But had a girlfriend who liked to play keep away. She'd ask me to have sex with her while she struggled to get away. If she said no or stop I would. But she'd make non-verbal unhappy vocalizations the whole time. Made me really uncomfortable, but she was really hot. And sometimes she'd be very aggressive, never asked me to resist. Though. That's what Safi wards are for. My friend has a long-term so who apparently refuses to have a Safi ward. She says it's more fun without one. Not really sure what to make of it. She wanted me to pee on her. Like on her face. With her mouth open. I did it a couple of times. I'm not too proud of that moment. I kinda wanna pee on a guy. Not his face. Just his torso. IDKY. I'm female BTW. Hey, it's me, a guy. Girl kept used knotted condoms in a large chest consisting of just about every single person she ever made ejaculate. Paper of initials. Initials/numbers were taped to the roof of the chest. Shrugged. I assumed this was a fetish for her because she didn't know I knew. A serial collector of sorts. One could say she was a collector of raw crude exports. North/Central Jersey. We might have both deposited to the same account. Still waiting on op to follow up. Physical violence. I'm a bigger person. I was in the military. I work out a lot. My current girlfriend has made it clear she wants the fear. She wants me to choke, hit, slam, and tie down. And with that I learned sometimes she's in the mood to dominate, and I learned a new thing I'm into. Be really careful with trust. The narrative can change on you in a second. And then appearances would be deceiving. Out of context this sounds like vague life advice a librarian would give you. I dated a girl. She had this weird fetish where she'd dress like herself and act like a rich all the time. Bo Burnham. My so's fetish was denying our relationship in public and avoiding being seen together as much as possible because I wasn't in her league, but she still liked me. But just feared what people would say. Exy fetish isn't it? Did she know she was your so? Yes McIron cock she knew. She loved pain and being physically hurt. It started with pinching, biting, gentle stuff that made X interesting. Then it escalated to hair pulling and slaps. More and more rough over time. She wanted and asked for much more, straight punches and kicks, but never felt okay with going that far. If I didn't agree to hurt her, she would often do it herself. And I must say it's quite the show when your girlfriend slaps the hit out of her own face repeatedly, while screaming that's how you should treat me. One time she bit herself so hard we had to go to the ER. She was aroused the whole time, while the nurse and I were horrified. Fun times. But she was insanely hot. X with her was incredible. And I'm that shallow. So it went on for a while. I broke up with her the day she got emotional and aggressive when I refused to slap her in a crowded supermarket. We remained kind of friends. Last time I talked to her she pulled one of her nails off in front of her Tinder date. So there's at least one guy out there traumatized by her way more than I am. Last time I talked to her she pulled one of her nails off in front of her Tinder date. What the duck? Next stop, amputation? Jesus. How can you even do something so painful? Normally when it comes to fetishes my thought process goes consenting adult equals sure. Fine. That line had me thinking she could benefit from therapy though. Also the bit about being asked to get beaten in public kinda made me wonder if there was more going on than a simple fetish. My very lesbian girlfriend was oddly into threesomes with men. At least I actually learned something about myself from it. Sounds lesbian as hell. Nah, she wasn't as into it as she thought she would be. Just the idea of it I guess. Ape. I'm brown, she was white. She enjoyed it when I pretended to ape her in character as the stereotypical Hollywood Arab/brown villain. It was strange, and I felt used because of my skin color, but she was bangin'. Edit. And now my highest rated contribution to the net is this story. This is really funny. Are you even Arab? Or was this like, I've always wanted to be aped by an Arab villain. I'm Mexican. Good enough. Abdallah. My name is Esteban. You mean Al Esteban? Whoa. I'm on gold fire these days. This is not a comment I would have deemed to be worthy of a guild. But thanks random passerby. I'm not Arab. But I'm Muslim. So yeah, she wasn't that far off base. One girl used to enjoy being slapped. Choked with belts. ATM. All kinds of fun stuff, but I used to piss on her in the shower. Her choice, not mine. And the one we never did but she suggested was that she wanted to give me a BJ while hitting. Totally would have tried it, but the relationship didn't last long enough. Edit. I think most of you are joking, but ATM is ass to mouth. Edit number 2. She wanted to give me head while I was hitting a blumpkin. Haven't heard this term since middle school lacrosse camp. Weird. Her fetish or what she was into was fulfilling whatever the thing I was into that day. Seriously, I would just be coming UPL with new stuff, and it was always let's go. I tried to unlock her weird side, but really she just ventured quite deep. I miss that. Was she into getting married? That sounds like the perfect partner. The safe word is divorce. Dated a guy who liked to wait until I was just about there. Then he'd bite my bean. Hard. Like. Drew blood once. Hard. Most intense orgasms ever. I can't believe people call it a bean. I was trying to be less crude. Friend's FWB had an extremely specific raceplay femdom fetish. He'd ask her to memorize little dirty talk lines referencing country names of Japan-occupied territories and events in the war. This toy-centric matriarchal alternate history had extremely intricate lore that he made all by himself. He even had a Japanese English conlang made up. 2 years later, and I'm still stunned. That guy should write feature-length porn. Somebody with a little imagination would be an excellent addition to the industry. An ex-GF of mine, who looked a little like Emily Browning, had a fetish for watching men fight. She expressed a desire to see me fight another man shirtless, which was strange. As far as I know, she's the only girl with that fetish. To this day she posts about UFC on Twitter. As far as I know, she's the only girl with that fetish. Not even close. Loads of women are into that. Yeah. One of our local motorcycle clubs does fight nights and only hit. I know I'm not the only one that floods their basement. She wanted to reach around and hold my peen while I peed. I love doing this. My husband used to think it's weird, but he's used to it now. Can't convince my wife to hold my peen while I pee, or let me thread the needle and pee through her legs while she pees, creating a highly efficient pissing experience while saving the planet through water conservation, all the while bringing us all the closer together, as I'd probably dribble some on her butt. That's love, baby. We'd been going out for a few months when one night he asked if he call me a different name, like role playing. Then he started shouting out his cousin's name as he climaxed. So awkward. Oh no. Oh yeah. Biting/blood drinking. Basically dated a vampire. Love the taste of blood. And ass. They kinda taste similar, now that I think about it. One tastes like iron, the other one tastes like pennies. My ass tastes like peen. I hooked up with a girl in the back of my sub at a bar and she started yelling, "Truffle butter me. Truffle butter me." I did, and my friends won't let me forget it and tell new people I meet immediately. Not sure I want to ask. But what is truffle butter? It's when you're having Nalex and then you switch to Vagal, or the other way around. Can't remember, but all the fluids together create a truffle butter hit juice. I might have gotten it wrong. But if I did, I have no idea how it could get any worse. Edit. Thanks for making my most upvoted comment about truffle butter, guys. I'm a virgin college student, and I do not belong here. I always thought, if it's a thing that people do, I've probably seen/heard about it in porn, but after looking through these comments I now know I was horribly wrong. This is a guy who only has to close 4 tabs when he finishes. Oh. To be young again. I'm young and I search ages for the right porno. So back on World Cup 2014. I've met this American girl. I was 18 and she was 30. We went to the hotel she was staying. Things started to get hot and she said, "If we are going to do this, you'll have to." At that moment I started to think she was going to end up with "grab your condom," only to get brick surprised in the face by her saying, "Pretend you are my son. And I'm your mom. Not your step one though." Since we were already on it, I thought, well, no turning back now. Went on anyway. No regrets. Pretend you are my son. And I'm your mom. Not your step one though. Sounds good, mom. Met a girl with a perfectly tattooed pinwheel lollipop right in her armpit. As we are making out and things are getting hot, she says, "If you lick the lollipop, I'll rock your ducking world." Hesitated for a secretary, then said, "Duck it," and went for it. Might as well have been eating her out because she absolutely loved it. Then rode me harder and better than any woman ever has. You hesitated to lick an armpit? Guess you'll never be the subject of a post like this. Hesitation is part of what makes it hot. Dated a girl that literally would get mad if I didn't pound her harder. I'm 6'1", 230. Regular length and probably above average girth. She was regular build, 5'9", 120. Sometimes I would literally hammer away so hard that I couldn't stay hard, lol. Things didn't work out with her, but it was fun while it lasted. Also would demand to be cream peed. I was quite okay with that, lol. Edit. For all y'all that want to be extracurricular. Maybe she was heavier or maybe I'm bad at estimating, but she was about as plain Jane as it got. Relax. Haha. Younger me had an ex exactly like that. She was 5'4" and at that time just retired from ballet. I say retire cause she was 20 and decided she didn't enjoy it. Well, one time I mentioned I was about to come and she did the whole harder talk. Well, between her having her legs around her neck, my quick shifting on my legs, and me pushing in with the intent to come, I got her dead center of her cervix. She screamed. I screamed and pulled out quickly. Doing so created a Quentin Tarantino-esque cum spray all across the wall. We laughed. And then couldn't have X for 3 weeks cause of the pain. I scream. You scream. We all scream from wall cream.